All right, family. We get paid to read these books. September, man. Geno, I feel like me and Geno about to be like best friends. I mean, once you read a person's book or biography basically every day for a month, I mean, you feel like you know the person. Like if I see him out and about, I'm like, "Hey, Geno, how you doing, man?" Man, that was a great story you told in the book. He wrote this book. I don't know when he wrote this book. You probably don't even remember half the stuff he put in the book. What year was this book written? In 2006. So he wrote this book 18 years ago. Ooh wee. And he was probably in his 50s then. So dadgum, Geno around here 70 something years old, still out here. He's still coaching. I don't think he's retired. And he's still coaching. Alright, let's get into it. Okay. Alright, teammates, this is over here on page 198. And Geno is talking about basically having a unified team. He's saying, I never mind taking phone calls from the parents. Now, Keisha Sales' mother called me all the time. She called to say, "What's wrong with Keisha?" I say, "I don't know. I think she's a lazy bum." She said to me, "Well, then coach, kick her in the butt." And I say, "All right, I'll do that. But stop making those pork chops every time she come home because she can't help but eat them and messes up her condition." So basically, he's got a great relationship with like Keisha's mom. They joking. Now, the other parents, now listen to this. He says, "The parents who cause me the worst problem are the ones who call to complain about their daughter's playing time." Obviously, everyone thinks his or her child should play, but they aren't in practice every day watching what I'm watching. The bad part about that is that if they think their darling could play more, the kid is hearing that every time she calls home and makes for more big problems. Now listen to this. This is the insight. You can't have two coaches. I'm your coach. That's it. You don't go home, go to your dorm room, pick up the phone, call home, get coached by someone else. If you want more than one coach, you need to go somewhere else. Teammates, I'm telling you, I mean, this is my personal experience, and I'm telling you just my personal experience. When I joined Primerica and I was 22, I got my insurance license at 22. In February, I got my securities license in August, that same 6 months later. So that was in 95. I didn't get married till 98. John Lennon was my coach. It wasn't my wife. It wasn't my mama. It wasn't nobody. But whatever John Lennon said, I ran the play. Period. Now, and that's how I still do it. And that's just how I have, like, coach, what do you think I should do about my business? What should we do about our business? And we discuss it. And if it's some other stuff, anything else, I can talk to Michelle, I can talk to my mama, whoever. But I got one coach, period. Now, everybody just ain't like that. That's been how I think maybe because I joined so young and I didn't have all the other stuff by the time I got, that stuff came later. I love, and so my point is, you gotta have a unified leadership team. That's not easy to do. You in a perfect world, you will want that. That's just, it is. Now, I guess you need, because I was 22, I guess I wasn't married, so I could have deferred to my mother and let her advise me. But my mom won't like that. My mom was like always the greatest supporter I've ever had. My mother was my first recruit. My mother was always down for whatever I wanted to do. So I was just blessed in that regard, I guess. I didn't really have a lot of other. I had a few negative naysayers, obviously, but in my core group, obviously Michelle and my mother, they ain't really ever tried to persuade me or sway me from doing this, because I guess a lot of them probably figured out I'm the type of person, once I make my mind up, I ain't even no need to start talking to him about something else, because it ain't gonna happen. Anyway, point one. Build a unified leadership team. If it's all possible, that would be optimal. That ain't easy to do. That's why everybody ain't making $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 million, by the way. All right, let's go on up here. Number 2. All right. In a matter of now, this was actually funny because he's now by this time, Geno's already won 2 national championships. He's getting ready to play in win their third national championship. They got Diana Taurasi. She's a sophomore, best player ever played the game. 4 seniors, all of them going first round in the WNBA draft. I mean, he got a team stacked like ain't never been a team better. I mean, his top 4, the 4 seniors go number 1 in the draft, number 2 in the draft, number 4 in the draft, and number 6 in the draft, and they're playing with Diana, who's the best player ever played. Oh my God, that's crazy. Anyway, so all right, this is my point too. So they're in a championship game, and the game is not going their way. So, I mean, they got the lead, but the other team is closing the lead. So, Coach Geno is talking all kinds of trash to Diana, which is funny. He called her D. He says, in a matter of 3 minutes, we go from telling D, we can't stand you. We hate your guts. You're the worst thing that ever happened in this program, too. That he told her they hate her. Now listen, he said 3 minutes later, he says, now D, we better give you the ball. That's hilarious. 3 minutes later, like 3 minutes ago, we hate you. You out here doing what you want to do. You ain't doing what we say. You the worst thing ever happened. 3 minutes later, all right, D, we better give you the ball. Now, you know that's funny. He says, now listen, D, we're going to have to give you the ball. And we're going to give you the ball, and you better make sure we win the game. All the singers are going, yeah, D, you understand. Now, all these are people getting ready to go number 1 in the draft, and they like, yeah, D, we got to give you the ball. He says, that's so funny. He says, we're going to give you the ball, and you better make sure you win the game. All the seniors are going, yeah, D, do you understand? D doesn't say much, but you know she's thinking, I understand. That's why you were ragging on me saying, and on me, and I'm saying, yeah, because all I really want to know is, when am I getting the ball? And obviously he gave her the ball, she scored, got fouled, their best player fouled out on that foul, and she went to the line and hit a 3, and it was a 3-point play. Boom, they won by 8. I mean, that's so funny. Anyway, well, my point is, you can be a bad coach and have great players and still win. I mean, you could be bad, but some people, they just gonna win in spite of you. I mean, obviously, it's a blessing you get some of them. And obviously, Geno was a great coach, and he had great players too. But you got the right one to say, hey, just give me the ball. Look, I hear all this. Give me the ball, and I got you. Oh my God, look, that's the dream. Everybody wants some of those. All right, but until we get some of those, let's be one of those. How about that? Let me be one of them for Mr. Lennon. Let me be one of those. All right? Now, that's my point. Now, going over here, I don't know how Geno kind of goes over these chapters. I mean, the chapters don't have no name. He just kind of just, like in a river, just going down the stream. He just go from one topic to another. So he goes from, that was their third championship. The 4 seniors go in the draft. Diana is finishing her sophomore year. Bam. And he goes from that back to, I worked with Jim Foster for 2 years as a high school coach. I mean, he just go all over the place. Anyway, so listen to this. I worked with Jim Foster for 2 years as a high school coach. He's tuned into the women. He knows how to work the crowd. He's very non-professional. He's the professional. He's the professor. He studies the landscape. Now listen to this. I also worked for Phil Martelli for 2 years as a high school coach. Then with Debbie Ryan for 4 years as her assistant at Virginia. Now listen to this, teammates. So he worked for 2 years at one high school. Then he worked for 2 more years at his high school he went to. That's 4. Then he worked for Debbie Ryan at UVA for 4. So that's 8. And I think it was me and Jimmy were talking the other day. I don't know how many years he was at UConn before they won their first championship. I mean, he ain't like get there and win when he first got there. It was a while. So 8 years before he even got the job, And then it's another, somebody looked it up. I don't know how many years he was at UConn before he won his first championship, but probably 7, 8 years. He was doing it 15, 16 years before they won at a high level. Anyway, now let's lead to this. Winning takes time, man. You just don't get weary in what you're doing. It just takes time. You got to become the type of person that is going to attract all this success to you. And if you ain't attracting it, you ain't that person yet. But don't get off the path of becoming that person. I'll be preaching better than y'all saying amen. I swear I do. All right, now listen to this. Now this is my point, and I'm going to let y'all go. He says the years I'm with Phil. Now this is Phil Martelli at the high school he went to, which I think that's funny because I can't even imagine working at the high school I went to in Littleton, North Carolina. I can't even imagine it. Anyway, he says the years I'm with Phil, I think this is my niche. I'm going to be a high school coach someday, and if I get lucky, maybe some college will give me a shot. Meanwhile, Phil is becoming one of my best friends. I think he is a tremendous coach. Out of nowhere one day, Phil comes up to me and says, listen, I got a call from Debbie Ryan. She just offered me the assistant's job at Virginia. But I'm not going to take it. I told her to talk to you. Good God almighty, Jesus, did you hear that? He said, I ain't going to take it. I told her to talk to you. I say, me? A woman's job? Where in the hell is the University of Virginia? I have never been out of Philadelphia. I don't know if Phil is trying to get rid of me or not. I fly down to Virginia, talk to everyone, they offer me the job. Listen, teammates, that is amazing. This guy, 2 years as a part-time assistant on one high school team, 2 years part-time at his own high, if you can't get a job at your own school, at his high school, and he in the University of Virginia is a Division I first-class program. The head coach calls, don't even ask for him. Are y'all listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth? She called and don't even ask for him. She asked for his boss. And Phil say, I'm good, I'm staying here. But you need to talk to Geno. She calls Geno. Geno gets the job. Boom. Now he's like, obviously, Geno. Teammate, listen. Opportunities come all kind of ways. You don't know who's going to refer you, who's going to just call you, who you going to bump into. But boy, it means success when it's coming towards you. You can't get out of it. What Myron says, what God has for me, can't nobody keep me from getting it. And what God don't have for me, ain't no way I can get it. But my insight is, it's better to not have an opportunity and be prepared than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Thank God when the call came, he wasn't even looking for it, but Geno was prepared, and that launched him into a whole nother direction. So teammates, even when they're not working the way you want to go, keep on working on getting better so you can be prepared when your opportunity comes. All right, I love you. I don't know what, y'all don't love reading these books. What is up with you? Listen, this stuff is amazing. If we get a chance to get all this new ideas and insights in our spirit so we can start our day and go take over the company. Love you guys. We'll run this play again tomorrow.